Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be talking about another game show, and this game show, as you can tell by the title, is The Cube. Now quite recently I've been watching The Cube. I never used to watch it. I didn't bother with the first season. We are now into the second season, or series. I think there's been 13 episodes to date altogether, which I thought there was more, so that was quite a surprise. And it airs on ITV on a Sunday just now from 7 till 8, just before the X Factor final, the results. And it's presented by Phillip Schofield. That is the main attraction for me. If it was presented by anybody else, somebody I don't know, somebody I've not heard of, a presenter I don't care about, I probably wouldn't like it as much. But Phillip has a really great presenting style, and he makes any show that could be a bit dire really entertaining. So I started watching it, and I'm not addicted to it. If I miss it, it's not the end of my world. But I do enjoy it when I'm watching it. So for those of you who haven't seen it, it's all about a cube. This giant, big glass cube. And the contestant goes in there and they have to take part in different challenges. And each time they do a challenge, they get money. There's 7 challenges in total. The first one gets you £1,000, the second 2,000, third 10,000, fourth 20,000, fifth 50,000, sixth 100,000, and seventh 250,000. They have 9 lives to start off with, and every time they do something wrong or they don't get a challenge, they get a life knocked off them. And obviously they're in the cube until they use up all their lives, or until they get the challenge right. They come out, they decide to do the next challenge, they go in, and they continue to lose lives until they get it right. They also have a simplifier, which means that if they're in the middle of a challenge and they're not doing that well, they can choose to simplify it, which can make it slightly easier. But we are talking slightly easier. For example, if they have to get it within a box this size, the box might grow that big, which is obviously not a massive difference, but if you're missing the box by that much, it will help. They also have a trial run, which means if they're not too sure before they commit to doing it, they can go and take a trial, and then if they think they are going to be able to do it from there, they can then accept it and go ahead. And there's all sorts of different challenges, which is shown by the body, first of all. There's like the wire one where you've got like a stick and you have to get it without touching the pole, and if you touch the pole it goes bzzz, and you lose life and have to start again, which I can't do. I don't have a steady hand. There's like the ball bouncing one where you've got 3 platform levels and you have to bounce it off the first one, and it's got to bounce down them and get into a box at the end, which is hard. Hardly anybody can do that. There's like an ice hockey one where you have to like fling the ball, and then it has to hit off a wall and then come back and land within a certain area. There's one where you have to like step on a certain square once it's vanished, and one where you've got to put a box where a square was, and all these really different things which look easy, or most of them look fairly easy, but then obviously once you're in the cube, it looks very different, because we're getting a bird's eye view of it. We can see what's going on. But obviously once you're in there, you don't have 360 vision at one time. You have to turn around, you have to be able to see everything as quickly as you can, So it's not going to be the easiest once you're in there. Plus you have the pressure, you're in a studio, it's going to be a lot hotter, unless it's the Loose Women's studio, which is freezing. But you're in the studio, you've got all these lights on you, all these cameras, the audience are staring at you. Your adrenaline is going to be running, but your frustration is going to be incredibly high if you've already made a mistake. If you've got very little lives left, you're in danger because you're sort of pushed for chances. Also there's a lot of money at stake. Granted, they came down with nothing, so they're technically not losing money, but at the same time, if you've got 50 grand sitting there, do you take it, or do you do the next challenge and double it? You could do an awful lot more with 100 grand than you could with 50 grand, but if you lost 50 grand, you've technically not lost anything, but you've got yourself airtime on television, which to me is more important than the money. I'd go onto the cube and, well, not happily go away with nothing, but if I left without any money, I'd be like, so what, I'm going to be on TV in a couple of weeks, I don't care. That's more important to me than the money. There's not as many sob stories on this, they're not like, I need the money because my grandma needs a new leg or anything like that, which you get with a lot of game shows. There's things like weddings, they can go on holiday, so they're not really sob stories, so you're not sitting there thinking, you know what, I don't really care anymore. It's really nice stories. So I think it's a really good game to watch, and you do sit there thinking, oh, are they going to do it? Oh, they're so close to touching it. Oh, no, it fell! well, you know, so you really do get involved with the game when you're watching it. But I don't think it's one that I could watch, you know, 6 episodes in a row, whereas with some game shows like Family Fortunes I could. There's a board game out just now which I think would be quite nice, quite frustrating actually. But yeah, I would love to go on the cube. Not just because it's television, but because I think it'd be fun just to try your hand at it and see what it is actually really like. Because nobody, unless you've been in the cube, you're not going to know what it's like until you're in there. But I think that's all I wanted to say on this really. It is a good game show. It's not the best game show. I think if it wasn't for Phillip Schofield it wouldn't be as good. But it's watchable, which I think is the main thing. Please feel free to leave comments and things and let me know your thoughts. Maybe you don't like it. I don't know anybody who hates it, but I don't really know anybody who is so completely addicted to it either. So feel free to leave comments and things and let me know your thoughts. And until next time, I will see you later. Bye guys.